Imagine dire wolves, fierce predators extinct for 13,000 years, roaming America again. Colossal Biosciences, a U.S. biotech firm, claims they're close to reviving these Game of Thrones icons using cutting-edge genetics. But is this science's triumph or a dangerous gamble? Could dire wolves restore our ecosystems, or are they just billionaire toys? This 13-mini-2 documentary dives into the dire wolf's ancient past, Colossal's DNA wizardry, and the ethical firestorm over de-extinction. From La Brea tar pits to Silicon Valley labs, we'll uncover the truth. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for a wild ride into science's boldest frontier. In 1854, Ohio's Licking River yielded a strange fossil, a massive canine jaw. By 1858, scientist Joseph Leidy named it Canis dirus, the fearsome dog. Dire wolves, 25% larger than gray wolves, ruled North America for 100,000 years. Weighing up to 200 pounds with broad skulls and bone-crushing jaws, they hunted bison and camels in packs. Fossils from Los Angeles' La Brea tar pits, over 4,000 dire wolf skulls, paint a vivid picture. They thrived alongside gray wolves and coyotes but didn't interbreed, per a 2021 Nature study. About 5.7 million years ago, dire wolves diverged from other canines, evolving into unique predators. By 13,000 years ago, they vanished, likely as their prey. Megafauna like mastodons went extinct during climate shifts. Why dire wolves? Pop culture helped. Game of Thrones dire wolves, like Ghost, made them icons. Colossal Biosciences, founded in 2021 by billionaire Ben Lamb and geneticist George Church, chose them for their fame. Based in Austin, Texas, Colossal aims to de-extinct species like woolly mammoths and dodo birds. Their 2023 dire wolf project sparked headlines, but as of April 2025, no living dire wolves exist. Colossal's claim of success is speculative. They're sequencing DNA, not birthing pups. Still, their work raises a question. Can science bring back the past? De-extinction means reversing extinction, reviving lost species. Colossal uses 3 methods: backbreeding, cloning, and genetic engineering. Backbreeding selects living animals with traits resembling extinct ones. The Quagga project, started in 1987, breeds zebras with fewer stripes to mimic the extinct quagga, a South African equine gone by 1883. By 2022, they produced quagga-like zebras, but their genes aren't identical. Appearance isn't essence. Cloning copies an extinct animal's DNA, like Dolly the sheep in 1996. In 2009, scientists cloned a Pyrenean ibex, but it died minutes after birth due to lung defects. Cloning needs intact cells, rare in fossils. Genetic engineering, Colossal's focus, is the most promising. Scientists extract DNA from fossils, compare it to living relatives, and edit genes using CRISPR-Cas9, a genetic scissors technology that won a 2020 Nobel Prize. For dire wolves, Colossal found DNA in a 13,000-year-old tooth from Ohio and a 70,000-year-old skull from Idaho. Gray wolves, 99.5% genetically similar, are the template. Colossal aims to edit gray wolf genes to match dire wolf traits: larger size, broader skulls, thicker fur. But fossil DNA is fragmented, and editing thousands of genes is daunting. As of 2025, Colossal's sequenced partial dire wolf DNA but hasn't created embryos. In summer 2023, Colossal's Austin lab began the dire wolf project. Why dire wolves? Their Game of Thrones fame, think Jon Snow's ghost, promised publicity. World of Warcraft and Dungeons & Dragons also feature them, boosting appeal. Colossal's team sequenced DNA from 2 fossils, yielding 500 times more data than prior studies, per their 2023 report. They compared it to gray wolf DNA, identifying key differences in size, skull shape, and fur. Using CRISPR, they plan to edit 14 to 20 genes, focusing on visible traits. But specifics are murky. Colossal hasn't published which genes or how many edits. Challenges loom. Fossil DNA is degraded. Colossal samples are incomplete, covering maybe 10% of the genome. Editing millions of base pairs is a Herculean task, In 2024, they tested edited gray wolf cells in vitro, but no embryos were implanted, despite claims of pups named Romulus, Remus, and Khaleesi. These are fictional for now. Colossal's timeline is ambitious, targeting 2028 for dire wolves. Gestation is another hurdle. Gray wolves carry pups for 63 days, but dire wolf size could complicate pregnancies and surrogates. Colossal's secrecy fuels skepticism. Experts like Beth Shapiro, a paleogenomicist, say full de-extinction is years away. Dire wolves hunted in packs, targeting Ice Age giants like bison and horses. When megafauna vanished 13,000 years ago, dire wolves couldn't adapt, unlike gray wolves, who bred with coyotes and ate smaller prey. A 2023 study suggests dire wolves lacked genetic diversity, limiting resilience. Could they survive today? America's ecosystems have changed. Bison are scarce and gray wolves hunt deer and elk. Releasing dire wolves could spark competition, disrupting food chains. Yellowstone's 1995 wolf reintroduction boosted biodiversity, but dire wolves, 25% larger, might overhunt prey, per ecologist John Vucetich. Colossal claims dire wolves could restore predator balance, filling gaps left by declining carnivores. But critics argue their prey, mastodons, ground sloths, are gone. Dire wolves might target livestock, clashing with ranchers. A 2024 simulation predicted dire wolves could destabilize Wyoming's elk populations. Colossal AS planned to keep dire wolves in a 10-foot fenced preserve sidesteps wild release but raises questions. Are they just zoo attractions? The La Brea Tar Pits Museum, with dire wolf fossils, warns, revived species may not act like their ancestors. De-extinction divides experts. Supporters like George Church argue it can repair ecosystems. Woolly mammoths, Colossal's flagship project, grazed Siberian steppes, maintaining grasslands. Reviving them could curb permafrost melt, per a 2022 study. Dire wolves, as apex predators, could regulate prey, but critics like paleontologist Jack Horner call it a stunt. These aren't dire wolves, Horner says, but gene-edited gray wolves. Only 0.001% of genes may be edited, leaving 99.5% gray wolf DNA. A 2025 paper compares it to editing a chimpanzee to look human. Appearance isn't identity. Ethical risks abound. Colossal's preserve, monitored by drones, limits dire wolves' freedom. Without parents, they won't learn pack hunting, living as showpieces, per bioethicist Lisa Lee. Environmental impact is another concern. Dire wolves evolved in Ice Age ecosystems. Today's forests may not sustain them. A 2024 ethics panel warned of Frankenstein species disrupting biodiversity. Colossal's funding, $200 million from billionaires, suggests profit motives. Will dire wolves be safari attractions for the ultra-rich? Public skepticism grows. A 2025 X poll showed 60% oppose de-extinction for entertainment. Colossal targets woolly mammoths, Tasmanian tigers, and dodo birds. Mammoths, extinct 4,000 years, face hurdles. Asian elephants, their relatives, have 22-month pregnancies. Tasmanian tigers, marsupials extinct since 1936, need artificial wombs. Dodos, gone since the 1660s, laid eggs, complicating gene edits. The 2009 Pyrenean ibex cloning showed de-extinction's limits, short-lived clones. Critics argue funds should save endangered species, like northern white rhinos, down to 2 in 2025. A 2019 UN report warned 1 million species face extinction. Conservation could prevent future de-extinction needs. Historical de-extinction attempts inform Colossal. The Quagga project's zebra-like results show backbreeding's limits. Cloning's low success rate, 1% for the ibex, highlights risks. Genetic engineering, while advanced, can't replicate full genomes. A 2023 paleontologist noted, "We're sculpting approximations, not reviving species." Colossal's transparency issues, undisclosed gene edits, fuel distrust. Yet their CRISPR advances could aid conservation, like editing rhinos for disease resistance. The Dire Wolf project, though overhyped, pushes genetic frontiers. What's next for Colossal? By 2028, they aim to produce direwolf pups, using gray wolf surrogates. Mammoths may follow by 2030 per Ben Lamb. But scaling is tough. Direwolves need packs, not pens. A 2025 biotech report predicts de-extinction costs could hit $1 billion per species. Public support hinges on purpose. A 2024 survey showed 70% backed de-extinction for ecosystems, not zoos. Colossal's preserve plan, 10-foot fences, billionaire tours, leans toward spectacle. Ecologists urge wild release studies, but America's landscapes may reject Ice Age relics. Dire wolves symbolize science's ambition. Their fossils, from California to Wyoming, tell of a lost world. Colossal's work, though incomplete, advances paleogenomics. A 2025 Nature study used Colossal's data to map dire wolf traits, aiding conservation genetics. But the ethical line blurs. Are we saving nature or playing God? The La Brea tar pits with dire wolf skulls remind us, extinction is final. Reviving species demands responsibility. Colossal's next steps, more fossils, better DNA, will shape de-extinction's legacy. Dire wolf de-extinction is science's boldest bet. Colossal's CRISPR wizardry could rewrite extinction, but at what cost? Their 2023 project, overhyped as success, reveals DNA's limits, fragmented fossils, partial genomes. Ethically, dire wolves challenge us. Are they predators or pets? Ecologically, they're misfits in 2025's world, where bison are ranch-bound and forests shrink. Conservation, not resurrection, may be wiser. Northern white rhinos with 2 left need CRISPR more than dire wolves. A 2019 UN report urges saving 1 million species now, not later. Yet Colossal's dream captivates. Dire wolves, Game of Thrones ghosts, stir wonder. Their story, from La Brea's tar to Austin's labs, shows science's power and peril. What's the lesson? Progress demands humility. Reviving the past can't ignore today's ecosystems. Dear viewers, should dire wolves return? Comment below, hit thumbs up, share with friends, and subscribe with notifications for more science deep dives. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.